Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, visiting Parkway Genesis, and I'm checking out a 2018 Genesis G80 3.3T. So this is the turbocharged G80, and man, did they do a fantastic job of differentiating this vehicle from the non-turbo. The look, the style, and of course the drive. So let's go ahead and check it out. Matthew Guillen, he's gonna help us out on the road. We're gonna take it for a quick test drive just so you can hear the engine run, see what it's like out there, and go over a few features.
What's up guys, Matt here from Parkway Genesis. Here we have the all new 2018 Genesis G80 Sport 3.3 twin turbo. Do a little walk around for you. So for starters, difference here between the regular G80 and the G80 Sport. The first thing you're going to notice is the front. All redone front grille and fascia, headlights. You're going to notice the dark chrome trim and all the copper inlays here. Right here you'll have all of the copper inlays and around the headlight bezels. And then there's going to be small copper accents throughout the rest of the car that we'll get to. Second thing you're going to notice is the black mirrors. Those are going to come standard on every 3.3 Sport. And then the fogged out marker lights on the side. And then furthermore, out back, you're gonna notice some more differences. Underneath is gonna be that fascia, the honeycomb around the quad exhaust. And then the full trim along the bottom side. Just like that, at 60 mile an hour. 0 to 60 time is 5 seconds flat.
That's nice. And a V6. This G80 is sitting on 245/40 Continental tires in the front with 275/35 R19 in the back, wrapped around a very impressive 19-inch alloy wheel. Now this vehicle has oversized brake rotors and calipers in the front and a four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors on all four wheels. This one is in a very impressive pearl white, and it looks even more impressive in contrast with the dark accents. You have the grille in a smoked out chrome, it looks like. Looks fantastic, and right there around the edge of the grille it has that copper accent just like on the wheels, and it's in a few other places as well. There's the Genesis emblem, looking fantastic. Very impressive stance of this vehicle. So as soon as I pulled into the parking lot, this is the first vehicle that I saw as far as standing out and getting my attention as being impressive looking. So this has the parking sensors across the front. These little round circles here as your parking sensors. They're in the front and the rear. It also has a 360 camera system. One of the cameras is right here in the center. It's kind of like a little GoPro. And we'll see how awesome it is when we get inside the vehicle. You can see all the way around the car as you're moving slowly, backing up or going forward. Now the headlights are active bending and auto leveling with a copper bezel in there, looking sweet. It also has, the headlights are actually powered by LEDs in projector housings for your high and your low beams. It also has an LED accent around the outside for daytime running lights and an LED turn signal. Everything on the outside of this vehicle, as far as the lighting goes, is LED powered. Some of the standard safety features in the G80 are 9 airbags, including a driver's knee airbag, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, driver attention alert, blind spot detection with rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, this keeps your vehicle in the lane even when your hands are off the steering wheel, smart cruise control or adaptive cruise control with stop and start, so it can actually come to a complete stop and restart and go back to your original settings. Multi-view camera, so this is the camera system around the entire vehicle. Front and rear parking sensors, electronic parking brake with auto vehicle hold, rain sensing wipers with auto defogger windshield, and pre-active seat belts with anti-whiplash front head restraints. It also has a vehicle stability management system, electronic stability control with traction control and ABS and brake assist. This is what the key looks like, and it's actually a proximity key system designed to where you can just keep this key fob in your pocket and it will gain access to the vehicle as well as drive it and everything without taking it out of your pocket or a bag or whatever. As long as you have it with you, you have full access to the vehicle. So it does have some buttons here, lock and unlock, the ability to open up the power trunk, and a panic button which will sound the horn and flash the lights. There's also a physical key here on the inside just in case you need it. Another cool thing about the key, as long as you have it with you and you walk up to the car, you can see the side mirrors are kind of folded in. They automatically fold in when you lock the doors. The vehicle's locked now, so as I approach, it senses the key and it unfolds the side mirrors, kind of greeting me as I walk up to the car. Now that can be turned on or off if you like. And I can simply, to gain access to the vehicle, let me show you it's locked. I just push this button, unlocks the door. To relock it, push the same button. Very simple. Okay, so here's the inside of the passenger door. Now this has real carbon fiber accents on the inside. It does have a gloss feel on the outside, but underneath that is the carbon fiber. And you can actually see when the sun hits it, the texturing of the carbon fiber. Maybe you can see a little bit better over here. Has the Lexicon sound system. Sounds fantastic, and it keeps the sound away from like right in your face. Has this nice ambient sound. I have a video of an audio test of a Lexicon on my channel if you want to check it out. If you're interested, let me know and I'll send you a link. Okay, so here on the door, it's all soft to the touch, all the way up from here, all down in here. You have the contrast stitching in that copper color as well, all soft to the touch, very soft surfaces. And then you have the French design stitching there as well. Very long storage pocket at the bottom. So here's your threshold with the sill plate with the Genesis name, looking nice. Passenger seat, all powered with a 4-way lumbar adjustment as well. Heated and ventilated seats. So it has that copper contrast stitching here, but look here, in the perforations, you also have that, the sun really has to kind of hit it just right, and you can see it kind of has that copper color in there. So nice little touch there. Now the driver's seat is even better. It has a lot more controls and some fancy features we'll get to and when we get over there. Check out the legroom. I'll leave all the measurements and volumes and all that stuff in the description so you can look at all the specs, but just trying to give you a visual reference to the size and how everything kind of looks. Soft to the touch dash right in here, lockable glove compartment, and it's all felt lined. Let's move all that stuff out of the way so you can see in there. Now this car has had its windows tinted by the dealer. It does not come with tinted windows, but I think it's a must, especially with a white exterior and all the black you have on this vehicle. Absolutely fantastic to have the windows tinted. And speaking of tint, here on the side mirrors, there's a turn signal indicator here, and it's kind of smoked out. You don't really notice it until it actually lights up, which is nice. Okay, so let's look in the back seat area. So inside the back door, you have a shade, so you can retract that shade, put it in the door when you're not using it, which is nice. It has that same carbon fiber back here as well. Really love those speaker covers. It's like a stainless steel, it looks like. All soft to the touch around your arm, just like in the front. And then the pocket. Even have the sill plate and threshold back here. And the back seat is very comfortable. That's where I spent most of my time filming when we were going on the test drive portion of this video. So I was really impressed with the back seat and the front seat. Now the back seats are heated. You have your heated seat controls right there in the center. You also have the ability to raise and lower the shade, which is in the back glass. There's some cup holders, and you have a pass-through, so you can access stuff in the trunk. This actually lifts up, getting out of your way in case you need a center passenger. There's the shade. It is already in place, so you can see what it looks like. It also has the latch system for car seats. So these seats are all the way back. I just put them all the way back just so you can give you an idea. Even with the seats back, you still have a fair amount of legroom back here. I mean, I fit back here, not a big deal. And here's the kind of a hump there in the center. It is flat on top, but there is a significant hump. And it has the climate control vents here. Check out that sunroof. Has a huge panoramic sunroof, and there's a shade that covers it all up, and it splits in the middle. It looks pretty cool. We'll look at that in a few minutes. Okay, let's look at the back. Now you notice that the top, it has that sunroof, but you can't really tell from the outside. Look at there, it's just kind of shiny, glossy black roof is what it looks like. It kind of flows into the rear glass, especially when it's tinted. Has a little antenna up there, shark fin antenna. You have that nice Genesis emblem there in the center. And you have the G80 badging, the 3.3 badging, the parking sensors, and your backup camera. It's just under here, almost in the center position. Check out the exhaust tips. It has a little honeycomb around the outside, looking pretty cool. And then you have these little diffusers there in a gloss black. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the trunk. Now you can use the key to open it up, or there's a button just under here. You just push it and it will lift up for you. So all you have to do is push the button and you're done. Lifts up. Has a place to put some reflective triangles right in here. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna put all the measurements and volumes and everything in the description. But check it out. Look at all the amount of space back here. It goes way up in there. Everything's covered up. There's no wires hanging. There's no exposed speakers, anything like that. You even have a hanger. This kind of pulls down. It's spring-loaded, but when you pull it down, you have this place to hang a bag or some kind of just about anything you want, as long as it's not over 10 kilograms. Lifting this up, actually the handle turns into a hook, so we can lift it up, hook it there, and here's your spare tire and tools. Now of course you can utilize some of the space around it, I suppose, for extra cargo space, but it does have the battery back here. This helps with weight distribution as well as getting the battery out of the extreme temperatures. So closing the power trunk, there's two options here. See these two buttons? One is to simply close the trunk. The other one is to close it and lock the vehicle. So if I push that button, not only is it going to close the trunk for me, but it's going to lock the doors and completely secure the car. And that way I can just walk away and I know that it's secure. You notice that the side mirrors are now folded in and it's completely locked up. All the tail lights, reverse lights, turn signals, everything here in the back are all powered by LEDs. Another way of accessing the trunk is simply having the key with you, walking up and staying behind the vehicle for a few seconds. I think it's 3 or 4 seconds, and it will go ahead and open up the trunk for you because it senses the key back here. Now that feature can be turned on or off, but right now it's turned on. The vehicle has to be locked, and you walk up with the key in your pocket, opens up the door or the trunk after a few seconds of you standing here. So if your hands are full, you don't have to worry about it. The fuel door is lockable, and it's on the driver's side, right in here. And it has the pretty traditional cap, a little tether right here, and a place to hang the cap when you're pumping gas out of the way. Okay, as long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it can be in your pocket, a bag, whatever. Put your foot on the brake, push the button, starts right up for you. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. So you can see the floor mat itself hooks in place, keeping it in place for you. Check out the pedals. You have the aluminum pedals with the rubber grips raised up, and the accelerator pedal pivots there at the bottom, keeping things from sliding underneath it and causing a problem there. Very large footrest here on the left side, angled perfectly for me anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To access the engine compartment, there's a latch a little bit to the right of center, right in here. Easy to get to, you just move it to the left. Takes almost no energy to lift it up, and it goes up the rest of the way by itself. So you can see there's actually a seal here on the underside of the hood, and that seals up the engine compartment, which helps with noise and also airflow. So here's the engine compartment. You can tell it has some braces here, and all insulation around the outside on the firewall there on the side as well. Has a plastic cover covering up the engine, of course. That's the new trend, but you can actually see a little bit of engine here in the front, which is nice. Power in this G80 is an impressive 3.3 liter V6 gasoline direct injection twin turbo engine with 365 horsepower. Now it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which with Shiftronic and paddle shifters. Here's the inside of the driver's side door. Now it's just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You see the same styling and everything. Has the automatic power windows for all 4 doors. So let's go ahead and you can see how smooth it is. You notice it kind of slowly goes up and down. But let me get it to a certain point to show you something. It has the laminated glass. Let me zoom in for you. So there's actually 2 panes of glass with an acoustic material lamination here on the center that allows for, keeps basically vibrations from vibrating the outside glass and transferring those vibrations inside the vehicle. It also gives you a more solid window pane and solid door structure overall when the windows rolled up. So your door lock controls are here. Your side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with this little pad. And you can also fold in the side mirrors. Right now it's set to auto, which is in the center portion. You can turn off that by pushing it to the left, or you can push it to the right and it will manually fold in the side mirrors. But automatic is the one that will allow the vehicle to sense the key and go ahead and open them up for you. There's 2 presets for your power seat here for the driver. And speaking of the driver's seat, now at this angle, I think you can see that copper tone there in the perforations of the seat a little bit better. I'm gonna maybe zoom in so my shadow doesn't get in the way. But yeah, I think you can see that a little bit better as far as that copper accent in the actual perforations. Looking pretty nice. very comfortable seats, especially the driver's seat, because not only do you have the adjustments to adjust the seat, the four-way lumbar adjustment, but also the bolster adjustments. So this right here will allow you to squeeze in or expand out the side bolsters here, so that way it gets you get that perfect position. You also have a thigh extender. This button right here extends this portion out of the seat, and that way you can really support your legs and customize the seat the way you want it when you get in the vehicle, and you can actually save it as a preset. To the left of the steering column, you have the dimmer switch for your interior gauges, the ability to open up the fuel door. Your lane keeping assist is here, so you can turn that on and off. Your shade in the back, you can roll up and down with that. Open up the power trunk. Blind spot monitor system, you can turn on or off, and the traction control, stability control, you can turn off. It's default on. And there's an electronic parking brake here, so this will engage the rear wheels. And you have a tilt and a telescoping power tilt and telescoping steering column. The heads-up display is adjustable as far as the brightness, the height, the rotation, the side-by-side movement, so that way you can get it perfect for your eye. It also has the ability to have more information besides just the speedometer. So as you drive, it's going to show you the speed limit, and actually let me show you the list here of different things that you can have. You can have your turn-by-turn direction, your traffic information, smart cruise control information show up there, the lane keeping assist, and the blind spot detection. And with your speedometer, it automatically uses the GPS system to tell you what the speed limit is as you're driving. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat is very comfortable. I have the bolsters adjusted, the thigh extender, the four-way lumbar adjusted, all the different adjustments to get it nice and comfortable. The only thing is I have it really far back. So it's so far back that I can't even drive right now, just to show you how much room there is here in the front. The amount of articulation and room and choices you have as a driver is just fantastic. So there's plenty of leg room, knee room, and all of that stuff here in the front, and it's just really comfortable. Okay, so looking at the steering wheel, it's a leather wrap steering wheel. It has the smooth portions there on the top and bottom, and then the perforations there on the ends. A little grip extender on the top. Has the paddle shifters just behind the steering wheel. You can cycle through those 8 gear ratios if you want to. Your adaptive cruise control is here on the right side, as well as your ability to go into a whole menu system. We'll go into that in just a minute. Here on the left side, you have your Bluetooth controls. You can have a voice recognition, answer calls, hang up. You can change your audio source, your volume. There's a little scroll wheel here, and then you can change through your presets or your audio tracks with this one. Windshield wiper controls are located here on the right side. Turn signal is here, but also you have your headlight controls. You can turn off your daytime running lights. You can put on automatic, parking light, or your headlights here. Okay, looking at the gauges, it's a very simple black background, white lettering popping through, and just looks simple and easy to discern, especially when you're transitioning from the road and then you're refocusing on the gauges and then back and forth. I know you don't have to do that as much because it has a heads-up display, but it does have the ability to help you out with that transition on your eyes. I know it seems like a simple everyday thing, but you know, if they can help out with your eyes a little bit, I think that's a great thing. So your speedometer is there on the right with your fuel gauge, and on the left is your RPMs with the engine coolant temperature. So right here in the center is a screen. You can see this little screen right here. So you can get all kinds of information here. Right now it's showing you that the lane keeping assist is active, the odometer, outside temperature, your range, and what gear you're in, and it has a digital speedometer there in the center. So using these buttons, remember these? You have the little pages button here, and then you have this scroll wheel. So I'm going to use those two buttons to kind of show you some more stuff. So using the pages button, I can push it, and you can see the pages there at the top, kind of like tabs. And once we land in a particular or rest on a particular tab, so let's go here, just kind of show you how it's all about. I'm going to scroll up and down. You can see those little bars on the side to show you that there's more screens, so I can get some more information besides just the digital speedometer. Go to the next page. This is your turn-by-turn directions, or a digital compass will show up here. Next page will be your safety systems, like your lane keeping assist, your blind spot detection, and things like that will show up here. And then your user settings. You can go in and you adjust your heads-up display, your lights, your sound, all the different convenience features and everything. You can set it and customize it the way you want. And then it scrolls back to the beginning. That will be my default here. So it has some information there. You don't have to go in there and scroll through it all the time. It's just there in case you want to get some information, or you need to get some information. I like the way they had that copper stitching everywhere. The dash, the steering wheel, just everywhere. Alright, center stack time. Look at that nice, the colors, just that nice blue in the background. 7-inch touchscreen. Has the physical buttons down here as well. But here's your home screen. And you actually have the ability to go to different places down here, actually touching the screen, or you actually have a dial here, so we can make selections without even, if we're just, you know, chillaxing here in the back, cruising along, we can just rest our hand right here and we can turn the dial and make selections right here without, you know, reaching forward or whatever. So starting on the home screen here, we can go into the navigation, we can push the button, or we can use this scroll wheel and the different buttons around here, or the ones here. So there's lots of different places to access things. So we're just kind of, I'll show you how to do it. We'll push this big dial down right there once we're on the icon that we want. So let's go to the navigation, we push it down, just like we're pushing it on the touch screen. We can actually go in to the navigation volume right there, which is nice. That's a big plus, because once the navigation starts, if you're not able to quickly and easily change the navigation volume, sometimes it gets a little annoying. We can go into the menu here, we can set a destination, search for different points of interest, save destinations, and all that. Go back out of that. Let's go to the home button. Sirius XM data, so you can get some information as far as weather, traffic. You can actually get fuel prices, which is nice, and sort it. You can sort it by price, or you can also find a specific name brand of gas station, things like that. Your phone, you can pair your phones.
Turn Bluetooth on from your device in order to search.
Let's cancel that. But once you pair your phone, you have access to your phone book, and you can send and receive calls and all that. You can also, this phone projection, this is where you plug in your phone to the USB, and you can use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto right here on the screen. Blue Link is a way that you can have access to internet type applications through a prescription service. You can, should kind of show you that. Let's go to there. You can also have a Wi-Fi. So let's go back out of that and let's go to the apps. Similar to an Android type system where you have little icons right here. You can go into a download center and choose what you want. Alright, you go into setup and there's all your settings. You can scroll down with the wheel easier. Satellite radio. There's your presets there on the left side. You can choose different audio sources, AM, FM, and it kind of shows you some information there on what's playing. And there's AM, FM separate, which is basically easy to get to either way. You also have a media button here, so kind of go into that. There's no media files showing up, so once you plug something into the USB or whatever, or the CD player, it'll show up as an additional audio source that you can access. But check out that dial. You can kind of use this big dial here and turn it, and you can choose make the selections just by turning it for the radio station. Isn't that neat? Okay, continuing down, you have a really neat little clock, an analog clock with the Genesis emblem there in the center. And when you adjust the clock up here, it will also adjust this clock, which is nice. Your fan speed is basically your climate control with a dual zone, your passenger, your driver. You can sync those so they're both the same if you want. Change where you want the air to blow, recirculate the air, and you can actually push this button for climate. It'll show up here on the screen so you can see where the air is blowing. I'm going to change the where I want it to blow, so that way gives you a visual reference of where the air is coming out at for the driver or the passenger. And we sync them like so. And down here is more for your radio, your volume, tuned through the stations, CD player right in here, AM, FM, satellite radio, different media. You can go into your map, your voice, and then you can seek tracks right there. So additional buttons, same thing down here, which we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so this opens up. You have a wireless cell phone charger right in this little spot, right next to your USB and auxiliary inputs. Cup holders are there on the right side. And before we get to the shifter, let's go ahead and look at this. You have your controls for your heated and cooled seats, and it's a 3-stage. So once you make a selection, you keep pushing it and you can have them high, medium, or low. Same thing for the passenger side. Your parking sensors you can turn on or off. And, of course, these are additional buttons for your screen. Navigation, all that stuff. You make selections with this. And then there's your blue link button right there. Now this right here is fantastic. Let's go into it now. Even though we'll go into it a little bit with the shifter, let's go ahead and push that now because it's so fun to look at. So as I push the button as we drive, let me go ahead and put it in drive. So right now it's showing around the vehicle. It uses the cameras on the side mirrors, the front and the backup camera, to stitch together a view completely around the vehicle. And since I'm in drive intending to go forward, it shows the front view camera. So I'm very close to that vehicle in front of me, so I'm not really going to go there. But we can change the view to it's just the front view, the front corners. Then you can see the front tire. As I turn the wheel, you can see it popping out there, and see how close I am to that car. And then the front right tire. Now if I put it in reverse, now it's showing the backup camera with the active guidelines here, and you still have that 360 on the right side. Now the selections are just the backup camera, the back rear tire on the driver's side, the one on the passenger side. So that way if I'm getting really close to a curb or if I'm getting really close to something, it will allow me to really focus in on where I need to look during that moment. If I just need a general view around the vehicle, this right here is fantastic for parking, creeping through the parking lot, going into a garage or a parking garage, things like that. Just a really, really good idea. And the way the shifter is designed to where, let's go ahead and, this is the park button. So there's a push button park, and the shifter, you just push this button on the side and you make your selection. It kind of bumps in place and goes back to the central place, and then they're in reverse, and it has a little indicator there which gear you're in. You can bump it down the neutral, and then there's drive. And then park is right here. So it's pretty basic and simple. Of course, the camera system, changes views as you change the gears. Your auto hold, this is where you're sitting in traffic. You don't want to hold the brake the whole time. It'll hold the brake for you while the vehicle's in drive. So that way, as soon as you push the accelerator, it'll release it and let you go. So that way, you just don't have to hold it. Your drive mode, this will cycle through Eco, Sport, and Normal. And as you cycle through this, it will adjust the steering stiffness, the suspension, and the way the vehicle drives overall. Especially the sport mode, you can feel the engine braking, you can hear a little bit more exhaust note, all that stuff. Little storage pocket right in here. And check it out, here's your armrest. And it's soft to the touch, not super soft, but it is soft, and it's separated here in the center. Kind of gives you some property zones for the driver and passenger, I guess, so you don't fight over the armrest. But you push this button, and it opens here in the center. And it's a felt-lined compartment. This little tray is removable. You'll find a USB charger, 12-volt power supply, and just some overall general storage space in here. Okay, so the rearview mirror is an auto-dim rearview mirror. The side mirrors are also auto-dim. And you have your HomeLink garage door opener controls on it, as well as voice recognition and your blue link and an emergency button and a compass, digital compass. Felt-lined storage compartment for sunglasses or things like that. Have some tap lights. Interior lights all can turn on with this button, or you can have them turn on with the door by having that selected. This is for your shade, for your sunroof, and this is for controlling your sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. The actual headliner is a suede or Alcantara suede type material. The visors have a very large mirror and a little light that turns on as you open it. Now if you push it too far up, it's going to turn off. It has to be in a certain position for the light to turn on. Okay, so let's look at this huge panoramic sunroof. So first thing I'm going to do is open up the shade. So the shade splits in the middle, looking nice. We can open it up. The back portion is fixed. The front portion is the one that moves. Alright, as far as it goes back, let's go forward. Nice and smooth. You can also vent it like so, just get a little bit of airflow. And really like the fact that it blocks 100% of the light. So when you don't want the light coming in, 100% of the light is now blocked. Okay, so the visibility, when you put it in reverse and you back up, you see the shade actually automatically gets out of your way as you back up. Fantastic. When you go back and drive and start moving, it will put the shade back up, or if you put it in park. So the visibility is that's a pretty good idea. Now the shade doesn't really get in the way too much. I mean, you can still see out of it, so that's not a big deal. Of course, you have the shades in the side glass as well for the back doors, and the pillars, the little pillars back there have a window between them, so that way you can kind of see in your blind spot a little bit better. But overall, you have if you have the side mirrors adjusted, rear view mirror adjusted, and all the different camera systems and blind spot detection systems and all that stuff, really helps, backing, parking, changing lanes, just makes it much easier. Alright, so before we finish up, let's look at the window sticker. And you're going to use the pause button to read it if you want. Just kind of pan through it, because there's so many different features that it'll be a whole separate video trying to read and explain all this stuff. But anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you to Parkway Genesis here in Wilmington, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off another awesome vehicle. And I'll see you guys next time.